Good morning, folks. Ariel over here, where today the sun is kind of coming and going. The weather is much more pleasant again. I think the last time I showed you things, stuff was starting to melt out. That happened for a few days, and then we had maybe 8 days in a row of snow with another 6 inches of fresh snow overnight yesterday. And then a lot of it did melt through the day yesterday. As you can see, you can still see fresh new snow back there, all shining kind of blindingly white when the sun comes out brightly for a minute between the clouds. And there's still a good bit of the older snow. But anyway, today is nicer. It looks like we're supposed to have a little more warmth and sunshine through the next few days, at least highs back above freezing. Some of the lows are still below freezing, but that's normal. So a lot of the rest of this should continue to melt. So what we've got here is, here still got about knee-deep snow, and it kind of just gets deeper as you go back toward the wood edge where I've scattered less ash. But there's also a lot of things starting to pop out and grow, and so that's really exciting, and I kind of want to show you some of that. So I'm doing a little of my spring cleanup around here. All winter, these two bins have been sitting right outside the door, one full of wood, firewood, and one is collecting ash. And these little plywood scraps were just covering the whiskey barrels here to provide them a flat place to sit. But I'm pulling that off, and I already have, it's time to get them off because I already have brand new sprouts of chives coming through there, as well as creeping jenny and some of the other flowers. So it's time to get that off of there so those can grow. Already it started pulling this apart. Still a little bit of wood in there to use up. So we've got another plywood scrap on it. Same kind of thing. I do indeed have, I don't know if the camera can see this, I'll have to show you a close-up. I actually got new chive sprouts, creeping jenny, and even a few pansies that look like it survived from last year. So that's exciting. Got to just kind of put all this stuff away. These bins just live over beside the wood pile then for the summer and come back in the winter. So I'm gonna take care of that stuff. Burley's busy chasing all of the little chipmunks and squirrels, which have started to reappear for the spring. That grill is going to move back over toward the fire pit for the summer, but what I wanted to show you is all along here in these beds you can see the remains of the dead plants from last year. Some people really like to clean them up in the fall. I don't tend to because mine are usually still blooming right when they get buried by snow, and I kind of like to enjoy them till the last minute. Plus I get spring fever itching to do stuff at this time of year when I can't do most things yet that I want to do, so it gives me something to clean up when I'm itching to get outside. So once the rest of the snow and ice chunks melt off of those beds, then or the boxes there, I will go along and just clip off all those old dead stalks like this and toss them in the compost for the summer so they can go back into the dirt later. Let me show you some of the other things that are actually poking up and growing. So right here where I just pulled that off, check out these lovely little new sprouts. They were getting a little tipped over. It was time to get that board off of them. And this is new creeping jenny growth. Like I said, there's still some ice chunks that have to melt out of there. Come over to this side, you can see some more new sprouts there in the middle. Actually, those are pansies that survived. A bunch of new growth coming up right there. It's another creeping Jenny. And there'll be more of that all along there as that snow melts out. It's just so exciting. You can see like there's a fresh green pansy leaves poking through already. So exciting to see the new green things. This garden area is almost all melted out now. Now I just need back there where the snow is still like 5 feet deep, need that to finish melting so I can get the rest of my good dirt out of those beds to finish filling these, because as you can see these ends are filled but a whole bunch of them are not yet. But the garlic is looking really good. I have quite a few different varieties. If you want to know what, I'll go check out the video from last fall when I planted them all. But I think 100% of them came up, and it's probably time for me to move my little trellises off them here. That was just to help keep them hidden from small rodents in the winter, which seems to have worked. Look at those exciting new sprouts. And then other places, like along this edge where the snow's half melted out, I have flowers and herbs and such planted just kind of into the dirt. This, I forget its name, it's a little vine with a blue flower. That's obviously coming back. This is another little vine where I can see new sprouts coming out around its base, and some more new sprouts there. That I'm pretty sure sticking through the snow there that's almost melted is oh, why am I drawing a blank on its name? That is tansy, which I use for various things, and there's another little one there behind it. And there hopefully will be a few more things that made it through the winter showing up along there. Of course, there's still snow, still going, but kind of all along this edge I have more little things tucked in. Again, you're just starting to be able to see them poking up. There's more sprouts from that little vine. Here's some little tiny baby lamb's ears I'd transplanted from a friend's garden last year. They're coming back. And so on along here. I had some extra strawberry runners, and so I transplanted some of them over here. I see at least, looks like one survived because there's a strawberry leaf poking through. Maybe a few more of them will come up here in a bit. The berry bushes here, it's a honeyberry, an elderberry, and a currant. They're still kind of buried in the snow, but they're coming back. The sun just keeps coming and going, so I apologize, the lighting is changing drastically here as I show you around. So there's parts of this yard that are finally actually bare. You can see lots of little moose turds and stuff everywhere now that the snow has melted there, but then parts of it are still very, very much snow covered. And that's one of the reasons it's going to be so nice to have the garden up here now, which is kind of where I'd wanted to put it in the first place. The ground soil there was just too rocky to be able to turn up a garden, but when I realized I was going to take the time and effort to build raised beds anyway, it made sense to put it up in the sunnier spot rather than the spot with the better dirt. So that's going to be exciting. Over here, oh, there's one of the first little chipmunks. They just saw the first one, I think, 2 days ago out of hibernation for the year. Over here, again, we got moose turds in between everything, lots of them. But I also have new pansies coming up. I can see some of, I've always called them bluebells, the little blue flowers. They're coming up through the irises. I can see another pansy shoot sprouting through there, and so on. More lambs here. Again, I'm going to go through these beds and trim off some of this excess dead stuff, but there's more new pansies sticking through. I have a couple mini daffodils. Those might be some of them starting to poke their heads through, and so on. And then over here, oh, I want to show you that in the garden too. Hi, baby boy. Here through the lawn and so on, you can see all the tunnels. That is my little gophers. Have been very busy all winter. Thankfully, I did not see any actual activity in the garden, but they certainly ate through everything here in the yard. through the mint bed, which is supposed to deter them, and apparently does nothing of the kind, because they tunneled all through here, all along here. There's also raspberries in this bed, but let me see here. You can see mint leaves up in some places, as well as places where they've already chewed them off. That was mint that was growing, and they already ate through it. Mint's pretty hardy, so I'm hoping that they won't have killed all of it. I don't think they have, because I've got more little, this is all new mint sprouts. They were showing through by the time the, I mean, you can see the snow's not even completely off of this yet. The mesh was to help keep the moose from eating this through the winter, but under there you can see more mint sprouts. So I think some of that survived, but they sure ate a lot of it through the year, through the winter. So that's what that is looking like there. Sunshine. And back over to the garden, what I wanted to show you here is, while whether the beds have been filled or only partially, there's the leaves and such I'd put in last fall, I see no gophery tunneling activity inside any of the beds, but they tried. All along here you can see where they tunneled through the paths, so that's a bed path, just in case you can't tell there. But there's no hardware, you know, there's hardware cloth under the beds and just sticking out the edges, but through the pathways there's not, and they tunneled right up to the edges of the hardware cloth, piled tunnels up against the cement blocks there, tunneled all through here, and so on back into the original garden. So that's really encouraging that this is going to be worth the effort and actually work, because they obviously spent part of their winter coming through here and trying to get into those beds, and were not yet successful. So hopefully it stays that way. So it's encouraging that after, like I said, another 6 inches of fresh snow yesterday, which is melting again now, it is indeed starting to look like spring, and there's new growth coming back. That always is exciting and kind of encouraging, makes you feel like there is happy new life after a winter, when you can see those new sprouts pushing through even before the snow is quite off them. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of tidying up and trimming up the you know, remains of the dead plant parts from last year, and looking at the snow, hoping the rest of it goes away so that I can actually get to some real planting. The ground's starting to thaw on top. It's actually getting really wet on top from the snow melting, but it's certainly not thawed the whole way down. It's still frozen solid down just a few inches. So I can't actually start planting yet. Most seeds need a particular temperature to be able to germinate, and frozen solid ground tends to lead to them rotting for most things. So can't do that quite yet, but hopefully, let's see, this is a little past the middle of April. Hopefully by sometime in May, I will actually have enough snow gone to have the ground defrost and be able to get to that. I hope you all are enjoying whatever you are planting or doing in your gardens or flowers or whatever, and I realize that probably most of you have things in bloom right now or growing, not just the first sprouts peeking out from under snowdrifts. So enjoy your gardening. It's one of the most fun things to do in life, I think. Hi folks, Ariel over here. Thanks for spending some of your valuable time watching these videos. Hopefully you found something beautiful, educational, interesting, peaceful, relaxing, or useful while you were here. If so, find more videos here, subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and if you like what you found here, feel free to like and share away so that others can benefit as well. You all have a wonderful day.